First things first, before I get started with this video, don't forget to like this video so my video will go up in the algorithm. Comment on this video because I really like you guys to comment, and subscribe, like it, share it. Do that, okay? Do it for me. Help your girl get to 2,000 by the end of the year. Y'all ain't got nothing else to do on the quarantine.
What up, everybody?
What up, everybody? What up, everybody? It's April Dawn. What up, everybody? It's April Dawn. Everybody, let's talk about it. What up, everybody? It's April Dawn. Let's talk about it. This is Insecure, Season 4, Episode 2, Low-Key. All right, y'all. So, you know, this season, this episode, it had me in my feels a little bit. I'm not even gonna lie. You know, Molly was getting on my nerves last episode, and now this episode, I'm kind of like looking at her a little different. I don't know, they was trying to tug at my heartstrings a little bit. You know, I'm whore, but I ain't whore. Shout out to Rox, you know what I'm saying? I ain't that whore. I have some feelings about how some of this stuff is going to turn out in the end. I don't think it's going to turn out good, but I don't want to waste any time, so let's go ahead and get into it. First of all, I want to say the soundtrack for Insecure is the real MVP. I have several of the songs that are on daily rotation, okay? If you don't know about it, I think Spotify or iTunes or whatever, they make an Insecure playlist, and you can get on there and put some songs, you know, add them to your music library. I have the music, Apple Music or whatever, so I can just add them to my playlist or whatever, and I'm sure you have the whatever the equivalent that is on the Android. Y'all do y'all thing, okay? Get that Insecure soundtrack. It's the real MVP. Basically, this whole episode, we're still getting to the friendship dynamic. Now we're kind of like on the flip side of what was last week. So last week we had Molly, who was kind of like in her own thing. She was kind of being catty. She was kind of, you know, hating a little bit, you know, and Issa was reaching out to her. She wasn't answering the phone. And this week, we kind of got the opposite of that. Molly's kind of going through something, and she's really leaning on their friendship with Issa, and Issa's kind of doing her own thing. It's not like Issa's ignoring her, but she has her own life. And, you know, I think that Molly is just used to that friendship dynamic between them, and she's used to Issa being available to her and vice versa. But now they're trying to navigate this new friendship, especially with Condola thrown in the mix, okay? They be calling her Condoleezza, Chili Con Queso. Like, here we go again. We start off with Molly and Andrew. They leaving the date, look like they having a really good time, and he gets a phone call, and he kind of goes off to the side. You know, he answered the phone, and when he comes back, she's like, well, what's wrong? And he was like, oh, it's something about work. And so she was like, oh, well, what happened? He was like, well, you know, he goes into it like he's gonna tell her, but then he kind of, you know, pulls back and he doesn't tell her. He tell her he don't want to talk about it. He just want to talk about this cake he about to get. And she was like, I'm not sharing. I'm like, girl, good night. You sharing. Cut it. Okay, cut it, girl. You finna go back to the house. And baby, he went over there and 2-1 food that ass. Okay, I was like, you better do it. And Gabriel, he slapped her. We went right on into the opening credits, and it was cute. I was here for it. You see that now we are 3 months prior to the block party that Issa and Condola are raising this money for and getting together. And we see Issa and Condola, they're kind of walking through this area. She's telling her where everything is going to be, the food, you know, all the different vendors, where they're going to check in. And she talks to her about getting something else together. Oh, going to the concert with her to see Schoolboy Q or something of that nature, something to do with the event. And she says she can't go, but she's going out of town. And she's like, oh, you going for work or you going for pleasure? She's like, oh, I'm going for pleasure. She's like, oh, okay, you going to say, oh, it's romance. Oh, my bad. Like, I wouldn't mean to ask you that, like, we friends, but, you know, we ain't have to talk about, like, you know, it kind of came up, and then they were like, well, you know, I don't want it to be awkward when his name comes up, you know, so let's just put it out on the table, like, and Issa was like, girl, I'm not feeling nobody who put no mayonnaise on his french fries, you know, give me press, so we just gonna put it out on the table. It's okay, no negative energy, girl, it's cool, I don't know. And, you know, as much as I talked about Molly last week, it's something about this that just don't sit in my spirit, y'all. It's just something ain't gonna be right. It ain't gonna be right. I don't know what it is, but I don't know. We with the girls in this Halloween night, and we see Issa is dressed up as the girl from that movie School Days, right? Dark skin, light skin, good hair, that whole thing. She dressed as them girls. Then we got Kelly is dressed as Babs, Halle Berry's character from Babs. We got Queens, you know, we got a Clover, a cheerleader from Clover. I think I'm gonna do that for Halloween. I think that'd be cute for me to be a Clover cheerleader, okay? I gotta find me a ponytail wig. Okay, what y'all think? Molly and Issa kind of talking. She's like, man, I feel like, you know, you out the loop. You know, you been getting ready for this thing. She's like, girl, yeah, you know, I've been busy or whatever. Because, like, she didn't know that her and Andrew had did it. And you notice that Kelly was like, oh, I already heard this story. So you can see that Molly told Kelly before she told Issa, which is probably not, you know, something that usually happens. Her and Issa are really close. So she and Andrew, you know, basically they had sex, and the sex is great. He be handling business, girl, but you know, she feels like he won't open up to her. You know, she just says, you know, I told him everything about me, girl. I told him I wore a helmet to a certain age, and you know, I don't know anything about him. You know, they going back and forth. Well, girl, if you have real feelings, you need to go ahead and tell him that you have real feelings for him. I mean, you just put that out on the table or whatever. Issa's like, girl, I don't know why you complaining. Like, he make you laugh, he make you, and don't get me wrong, like, y'all, I like Issa, but sometimes Issa ain't giving you the best, most mature advice. And plus, Issa is in a happy place right now, so she's going to tend to be like, you know what, it's all good. She's not really listening to her friend. She's kind of disregarding her feelings. So I felt Molly on that one. You know, you can feel that she was trying to tell her, no, I really like him, but she won't say, I really like him, y'all. You know, like, I have real feelings for him or whatever, and I feel some type of way, because I could see if you're having sex with somebody and you're telling them all about yourself, and y'all are dating, y'all are going on dates. It ain't like you just come to the house and y'all go out, you do things together, you know, and you having sex and you telling him things about yourself. You will want to get to know him too, right? You will want him to say, and then after 30 days pass, you're going to want to know why you're not talking to me. You know, like, what's going on? Why haven't you told me nothing? You ain't got to know all this business in this whole life story, but you could, you know a little bit about the man. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that's a lot to ask. I don't think she was asking for something that's crazy. My thing is, if somebody can jump up and down on top of you, I'm just saying, I can know if you have a sister. That's all I'm saying. She said she just don't want that to be all they do, just having sex or whatever. She gonna slow it down. He said, you gonna put the pee on pause? And she was like, yeah, I'm gonna put it on pause, girl. She was like, all right, I mean, do you, girl? I don't know why you would stop getting none, but hey, go for it, you know? And we see Issa and the TSA man, they getting it in, you know, they doing it, honey. He is doing what he could do. Now, I liked him on the first episode, but this episode, I was like, Then he talking about press my booty button. I said, wait a minute, not your booty button. He said, press it, honey. So when they were finished, it's so gross. They laid in the bed together, right? And so, like, the condom was still on. It was inside of her. Like, it came off. He was like, it was on, but now it's off. She was like, wait a minute, what? She jumped up. She goes to the bathroom. She's looking at herself. Mirror bitch was like, girl, like, I'm just, I'm not mad. I'm just, like, really disappointed. And, like, what are you doing right now? Like, what's up with your life? And then the condom fell out. Like, I felt like that was unnecessary. Like, we didn't have to see that. But, that's real life. Okay, I'm not going to say it happened to me, because I'm not going to say it did. You know what I'm saying? But it happens in life to some people. It has happened. You see, Molly calls Andrew and she tells him that, she want him to come to the house because he tell her it's a Summer Walker concert, trying to get to go to the concert. She said, no, I just want to play it low key. I just want you to come over, swing through, and we can chill. We're just going to chill. And he's like, okay, cool. You going to cook? All right, cool. You see Condola and Lawrence, and what's funny was they was talking about looking for LaToya, which is hilarious. Okay, so looking for LaToya is everything. I'm loving it more and more every week. And they was like, you saw it? I think it was the boyfriend. How you gonna screw somebody for 5 years on and off? Come on now. He asked for mayo for his fries, and Condola kind of laughs, and it comes up that her and Issa talked about him, and he kind of instantly becomes insecure, right? He's like, well, what else y'all talked about? And she was like, I mean, we wasn't like talking about you, and they wasn't, y'all. She should have said talked about. She should have said your name came up, or like, you know what I'm saying? Something that means like brief. Talked about, infers that we had a whole conversation. And she was like, it wasn't nothing bad, but we just, talked a little about it. It wasn't like that. Condola picks up that, he's uncomfortable about this. She was like, I'm uncomfortable. I'm sorry. I have made it uncomfortable for us. And he's like, no, I'm not uncomfortable. I'm cool. It's cool or whatever. You cool with this. And I love how they would switch scenes. Now he's with his boys and they're like, you cool with it? He was like, hell no, I'm not cool with this. And so, his boys, Chad, we miss Chad and Derek, right? Chad and Derek, Tiffany's husband. And they're Chad's giving him terrible advice. They're telling him, don't go at Easter because you're going to look like you pressed, and don't go at Condola because you're going to look sensitive, and then they're going to bind over the fact that you're so sensitive. Like, you can't do either one, but you need to address it head on. I was like... So Condola and Issa are talking about the event or whatever. It's around dinner time and they're getting ready to leave. And then Molly comes up and then I'm about to go get something to eat. Condola's like, okay, I'm going to leave. I'm going to get something to eat. I'm hungry too. And then Issa was like, well, do you want to stay? You can just stay. And she was like, I mean, Molly is looking like, well, girl, I want to talk to you. But one thing I did like about Molly this episode, I'm not even gonna hate y'all. When she went to the bathroom, she said, well, I thought it was just gonna be me and you. And she said, well, she already here. Do you want me to tell her to leave? And she was like, no, but, you know, we'll talk when we do the self-care Sunday. So they did try to, like, you know, work out another time where they can talk and it'll just be the two of them. I'm not gonna lie, I will ask you before I invite another person. That's how I am. I'll be like, well, Condola is already here. You about to come. Is it okay if she stay for dinner? Like, is that cool with you? But if not, I ain't gonna say nothing. I'm gonna tell Condola bye. I'm gonna eat dinner with my homegirl because that's what we plan to do. You know what I'm saying? I don't have no problem inviting other people because I like to do that. But you know, if I wanted to be me and you at certain times, well, I'm like, I don't want you to invite nobody else. Don't invite nobody else. I just want it to be me and you, friend. Okay, and that's it. I felt Molly in that situation too. See, I don't totally hate Molly. I could see both sides of the coin. Lawrence texts Issa and he tell her he outside, and Issa comes outside and she's like, you know, what's up? What's going on? And he tells her he knows that her and Condola are friends, but, you know, basically don't talk about him. You know, he want to stay out of the conversation. He want to get to know her based off of him, or her to get to know him based off of just him. He don't want to know that he was sleeping on the couch and he forgot your birthday. He don't want to know that he ain't had no job. He don't want Condola to know all that. Okay, so don't be talking about him. And she was like, you know, we wasn't like talk about here you go again. You kind of making it a big deal. If you had just let it ride, sir, it wouldn't have been no big deal. But he got to go ahead and get it out. My thing is, if you a better guy and you doing great, then what was there be to talk about? Ain't nothing to talk about. You know what I'm saying? And unless she coming up in there telling y'all business, there ain't nothing to talk about. So anywho, he tell her he wanted to work out with the girl. You know, he liked the girl. Issa heard this, but I don't think this is really sunk into Issa's self-conscious yet. Like, you know, she hasn't processed that he likes the girl and he wants it to work out with her. Okay? So she's like, I love Condola. Condola's great. You know, she's awesome. She's great. Yes. I love both of you guys. You know, I want you guys to work out too. Andrew, he comes on over to Molly's house. He trying to get busy, like, damn near as soon as he get in the door, okay? She making some gumbo, and he talking about something. She said, no, I just want to chill and chill. You know, no gumbo and chill. Just chill and chill. And he was like, okay, cool. And he tell her food too salty. And I was like, child, not with that salt water ramen y'all be eating. Never mind. But you know what I'm saying? Anywho, worry about yourself, sir, and this free food you about to eat. They talking at the dinner table, chopping it up. You know, she's showing him her family pictures, and they're laughing once again, telling about her family, all about herself. And she asked him, and he said he have a sister, and he have a brother, and he says something about the sister, you know, they don't talk to the sister. He don't know where the sister live. And she was like, oh, what happened? And he was like, oh, it's nothing. You know, like, I don't want to talk about it. And she was just like, what's the problem, whatever. He was like, what, you want to go to the show? And she was like, no, I don't want to go to the show. I'm just frustrated. Like, I feel like you won't open up, you know, to me. And he was like, just based off this one conversation? That is when she should have said no, not based off this one conversation. Based off that I've been telling you for weeks and weeks all about myself, and I don't really know anything about you, you know, and I want to know things about you. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm giving you parts of me and we're getting to know each other. You getting to know me, but I'm not getting to know you. But instead, she says, no, I mean, I want to date somebody I can talk to. You know, I want to date somebody with depth, as is because he didn't want to disclose all this stuff about himself only a month after meeting you, that he lacks depth because of that. Like, that is not the way to come at people. And once again, Molly do not know how to talk to people, y'all. Like, you can't tell people that they're dumb, basically, or they don't have no depth, or they're shallow because they're not forthcoming about their life. Now, like I said, I do see her point of view, as in, I do feel like she was trying to get to know him. She's being open. Like, she's not acting funny in this relationship. Like, she kind of putting it out there for this relationship. As much as we talk about Molly, she's doing better. So, if she feel like, well, I'm doing this and I need some reciprocation, I feel like she needs to learn how to communicate. Then, as a grown 30-something-year-old woman, a lawyer at that, who uses words all the time, it seems like you would figure out how to communicate this to a man that you really like. But this is clearly one of her major problems. After he leaves, she gets some wine and she kind of chills out, and she calls Issa. And Issa's at the club. She's on there to go see Schoolboy Q. She's trying to get him to be the headliner for her event. She texts her and tells her, I will call you back later. You know, it's really, really loud in here. So, you know, Molly kind of sulks and she drinks her wine or whatever. Once again, it's not like Issa's being rude to her. Well, Issa was a little rude at the dinner, I'm not gonna lie. But like right there, she was like, it's loud in here, girl. I'm gonna call you back later. It's not too much she could do. Issa has a life. Everything don't revolve around Molly, just like everything don't revolve around Issa. Same thing, you know. It's like I said, we're getting those vice versa type things on this episode. She calls Lawrence, Issa Issa calls Lawrence before she goes to the party. She's like, just because I don't mess anything up, you know, is it okay if it comes up that, you know, you came over here? And he was like, no, I don't think we need to tell her. It wasn't no big deal. This is the thing. If it wasn't a big deal, you wouldn't have went over there, sir. And the fact that y'all agreeing together, that y'all have seen each other and agreed to lie to Condola together is the problem. You shouldn't have went over there in the first place because it wasn't no big deal. Like she said, you making a mountain out of a molehill. And the fact that y'all got together and you lied, and I feel like, no tea, no shade. As much as I'm hyping, you know, going back and forth to Molly and not trying to throw shade, I know how Molly is and I know how Issa is. And if Issa tell Molly and Molly get mad at Issa and they all three together in a situation and Molly get mad, she can spill that tea, okay? That's going to be a problem. That's going to come back to bite them in the butt later on, the fact that they got together and lied. Because like I said, if it wasn't no big deal, then it wasn't no big deal. You ain't have to be like, he came over here, but you could have said, you know, I saw him at the store and he said, oh, we talked together, you know, let's just try to keep it, you know. And I said, you know, that was cool. You know what I mean? I don't know. The whole thing is just Lawrence shouldn't have did that. He gonna pay. That's not gonna be good in the end. At Molly's job, the guy that she was, I guess his name is Tyrion or something like that. I can't remember Tyrion from Game of Thrones. Whatever his name is. They was in there going back and forth about a case. At the beginning of the episode, she sees him. She kind of offers him some travel advice about going to some place, and he's like, nah, I ain't talking to you. Like, I don't mess with you. And then later on, they're in a case. They're working on this case together, and they kind of going over some things. And then, you know, she could tell she wanted to interject, but she didn't because she's trying to play it cool. She's trying to get on her coworker's good side again because they don't like her, you know. So she goes back to her office, and he comes in the office like, well, if you had something to say, I know you worked on this case. She was like, well, yeah, you know, you could have did it this way. You might have saved some time, but, you know, you could do it your way. It's no right way to do it. Like, I was just agreeing with y'all, trying not to be negative. And he was like, look, I mean, you being nice to me, trying to give me advice, trying to help me, not trying to be negative. And I feel like when he was saying all this stuff, even to himself, he was like, oh, okay, well, I mean, she is trying. You know what I mean? Because she was like, he was like, you got something to say, just say it. And she was like, okay, well, I apologize, you know, for the way I acted on the last case. You know, the one, I don't remember what she was doing, but I know she was acting a fool. I apologize how I acted on the last case, you know, and I understand I want everybody to get along, and I really want us to get along, but I understand that it might take some time. And he was just like, all right. And he walked out the door. And this is the thing, like I said, I feel like when he's saying these things out loud, it's like, well, damn, she is trying. I mean, what you gonna do when somebody apologizes? It's not like she was like, you know, I got to say this. No, she was just like, you know, I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? He was just like, okay. Like, he not ready to forgive her yet, but he gonna have to let it go. Because they don't go together. This is just work, sir. Get over it. So the last scene is Molly and Issa, and they on the trail. I've been on that trail. It's really, really nice. It's fun. It's a little scary, but it's cool. Everybody go there. I think it's like one side where they always filming, like, you know, movies and shows and stuff on, and like the other side where like people like me, where we go hiking. So, it was really cool when I went to Los Angeles. It was awesome. So they go up there, they hiking. You know, Molly's telling her about all her problems with Andrew and about how, you know, it didn't go good. He walked out on them. And Issa's kind of like, well, girl, listen, this is kind of like the same thing that happened last week in reverse. Well, kind of like you always looking for a problem, girl. It's like, if you're happy, like, do you want to be happy? Because it seems like you're always looking for an excuse to not be happy. Like, to make these excuses about why you don't like these men, girl. Like, get over it, sis. When are you going to get over it? It wasn't that harsh, okay? But, you know, in a nutshell, that's what she said. Molly gets a call, and the call is from Andrew. She says she needs to take it, and Andrew apologizes. Because, like I said, Andrew was out of line. He said it was hard for him to open up to people, and it's going to take some time, you know. And she's like, okay, well, I got time. She goes off. And, y'all, like I said, I felt the Andrew thing because if you're a 30-something professional person and you're dating, like, that's how dating is. It's very surface level type stuff. And then, like, you know, it's hard to break through that surface level and get to another level with somebody, okay? It's hard to get to that second stage, you know, stage 2, where, like, you like each other, and now you're spending time together, and you're getting to know each other, and you can possibly meet each other, family, however, when you feel comfortable, but really starting to integrate each other into each other's lives. So it's hard to get to that level. It's hard to get past the surface in dating today. I mean, I think most people can agree with me. I think a part of that is because of the accessibility, you know, apps, and you can always switch up dating. And, you know, like, I done had Tinder, I done deleted it, I done had it, I done deleted it. I'll start a conversation with somebody and just never talk to them again. Like, that's, you know, It's because you can. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's a lot to do with it. She gets off the phone and she goes back to talk to Issa, and she tells her that it was nobody after Issa asked her, so she doesn't tell her friend, you know, what's going on. So you can feel the distance that's kind of formed between them. I don't think Issa is being selfish or anything. I think that Issa just has a life now. She has things going on. Okay? I think that's just what happens. I'm over 35, guys, so you know, life happens. I'm a single woman. I don't have any kids. People grow up, they get married, they have children, they have families, they move away, they get houses. You know what I'm saying? Your friendships will change and evolve over your 30s, and I think that's what we're seeing with these episodes. The friendship either going to dissolve or it's going to evolve. I have friends that I was friends with for 10 years and I'm not friends with, that I haven't been friends with longer than we was actually friends at this point in my life. So, like, people are going to change. I have friends that I don't see for a year, okay, or 2 at a time, but that's my girl. I will see her and it's like no time is lost because I have life, she have a life. This is how things go when people get grown, but they're in their early 30s, so they're getting out of that we together every weekend. When people start pairing up and getting married and having kids, you know, so we'll see how it goes. I felt a little bit for Molly this episode. I did. I saw her point of view this episode. I saw Issa's point of view this episode. Like, I finally got something good for myself going, and I'm not going to wallow over here in sadness with you all the time. Girl, get you some and move on and push, okay? Oh, I forgot to say she did let TSA the dude go because she said her plan B was starting to become plan A, and he got 2 kids and 1 on the way, baby. So Issa's still out here making bad decisions and poor choices, clearly, all right? So I want to know what y'all thought about this episode. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video with all your friends. I will holler at y'all next week. Peace.